Christine Hardy F. So, um, a heartfelt welcome to you all. And today we also have joining us from the University of Chichester, Federica Bocciarelli. Sorry. Federica is the Careers and Employability Manager. So she'll be talking today about everything that we can do for you at the University of Chichester to help you launch your career and be successful when you graduate. We've got Helen Quiroga, and Helen is a third-year student in event management, just about to graduate. So she has exciting news about her 3-year experience. She's going to tell you all about her projects, the assessments, and the general do's and don'ts about higher education. I would also like to thank Lucy Kelly for joining us as well. And Lucy is a second-year student studying digital marketing. And we have Tara Lovejoy, who is the head of recruitment at the university and the program coordinator for business management. So just want to thank all of you for joining. And without further ado, I am just going to pass you over now to Federica, who's going to do a presentation on everything that we can do to help you with your careers. So Federica, over to you.
Great. Thank you very much, Wendy. And well, lovely to see you everyone here on this call this evening. So as Wendy rightly said, my name is Federica and I am the Careers and Employability Manager here at the University of Chichester. Today, I'll just go through a kind of short presentation, which is going to cover all the aspects of the activity that we provide here at the university for our students. And obviously, at the end of the presentation, there's going to be a time for Q&A. So any question, please, you'll be more than welcome to ask. And I can give you further details about our activities at the university. So, as to begin with, we talk about careers and employability. Our service actually is known as University of Chichester Careers and Employability Service. But what does it really mean? Lots of times students got, let's say, confused, and then they think that we do kind of like pastoral work with them when it comes to careers. Well, actually, our work is way more than that. So we operate in 2 areas. As it stands for our name. One is careers, and when we talk about careers, we talk about your aspiration, where students would like to go at the end of their studies. What are the connections that we can build up with employers in order to provide you with some relevant contacts in businesses? What are the information about the labor market? Let's say you want to study at the University of Chichester and then stay local. What sort of jobs, the kind of jobs are arising within the industry around where we are living? And all these sort of things. So as you can imagine, we do have a dedicated team who's looking after this side of our service, making sure we are connecting with businesses, local business, national business, and international businesses in order to provide for you, let's say, valuable links and contacts to develop further your network and inform you about your opportunities available with your degree. On the other side, what we do is we work on the employability side of the service. So in other words, we work with colleagues like Wendy, like Tara, so academics who are delivering their classes every day to our students. And then we support them with some of our deliveries specifically related to careers education. So, for example, sometimes our student might see us during the course talking about how to write a CV or how to network, or again, how to develop your transferable skills or how to articulate your transferable skills in employment context. So there are many different ways how we work together as a central service within the different departments. But what is really key for us is to establish a solid collaboration. So you know who we are. The academics know that we are here for help you as well. And then we can work together in order to ensure you receive the best possible service when it comes to careers and employability. So as part of our offer, in order for us to fulfill careers and the employability bit, we have got a specific and dedicated software. This software is called Chai Careers. So all of our students will have, once they enroll obviously at the University of Chichester, will have access to Chai Careers. This specific site is going to be available also for alumni and is going to be open lifetime. What does it mean? It means that once students graduate located at the University of Chichester, they will have a guaranteed lifetime career service at the University of Chichester, and they will have a dedicated login to this platform. So talking about the platform, Careers, as I said, is a comprehensive platform where you can find all the different kind of services that we offer to our students. First of all, we do have a very extensive jobs board. So on the jobs board, you can find lots of different range of opportunities. So you can have a graduate scheme, part-time jobs, volunteering opportunities, work placements, international opportunities. So lots of different jobs are there and are open to our University of Chichester students. As I said, different level of jobs, different level of opportunities. Some of these are local, which means that these are the contacts that we as a department, as university, nurtures with local businesses, but some others are coming directly through graduate jobs, which is one of the biggest platform for finding jobs for recent graduates. So at the moment, just to give you an example, we got about 700 of live jobs. So it means jobs open for students to apply in a very wide different sort of sectors. Then on the platform, we do have a list of events. So there are two types of events which our students could attend. One are the one run by the Career Service. So for example, 2 weeks ago, we ran a summer careers fair because we know that some of our students wanted to have a part-time job during summer. In order for them to try to find a suitable match, we organized this event and students find out about this event through the platform. Alternatively, you can also have events run from businesses. Let's say next week, for example, CMI is running their own webinar, talking about their opportunities with CMI. So what we're doing is we are advertising these to all of our students through the platform. And then obviously they make aware about opportunities, and all these events are obviously free for the students to attend, but these are good opportunities to find out more what is happening within the university, but also within the sector of interest. On the platform, we've got also what we call pathways. So these are kind of step-by-step activities that support students within their careers development. So, for example, we do have an employability week coming up in June, first week of June. And as part of the employability week, we are opening up a virtual work placement pathway. So we're giving the students the opportunity to do some e-learning on top of a virtual work placement. And then at the end of it, once they're coming back on campus, we will do a little ceremony, an award ceremony, where like gather together, where we give them a skill certificate. So as I said, this pathway, you can do generally this pathway at your own pace, and you can always find these online. And this will help you improving your skills and also find out more about your careers opportunities. Another interesting piece of information is that on the platform, you can find lots of resources, careers-related resources about salary range within the industry, about working in hybrid, developing your skills. Again, what can you do with your degrees and all these sort of things. So it's there's a kind of a wide selection of articles and information over there that is going to be there for you to access to it every single time you like to. Another interesting tool is a CV checker. So let's say you're going for a job and you want to update your CV, or you've got your CV, but you're not really sure if it's really tailored for the job you're applying for. Well, as part of this platform, we've got what is called Career Set. So in other words, you go on our Careers, you go basically on a link which says get your CV checked now. And then you upload your CV and you got an immediate feedback. And you can understand where your CV says within the competitors, but also how the receiver will read your CV. And line by line, you will have a sort of like a to-do list in order to improve the CV, in order to make it more appealing for the industry and the employers that you are trying to reach with this. Last but not least, we offer a different range of appointments. We do have a careers team. Within your careers team, we've got three kind of different roles. Let's say one area is covered by our careers and placement coordinator. Her name is Deborah Tiny, and she is working with students mostly on a one-to-one basis in order to support them with their work placement. Obviously, we work very closely with the business school and also with other departments within the University of Chichester. But with business school, we are really keen and proud actually to support our students to find a suitable work placement for them. So we do our own researches, and we gather some opportunities from local businesses, but also we offer on a one-to-one basis support to I would say most all students really, in order to make sure that you can find a suitable match with what you're looking for when it comes to work placement. Obviously, finding a work placement is not just a matter of finding a match and then it's done. It's more than that. There's a prep job that has to be done. So you definitely need to look in your CV, into your LinkedIn profile, in your online presence. And when I talk about online presence, I'm talking about specifically about social media, because as you know, social media now are really key and really important, and recruiters are looking at your social media profile, even if it's for a placement, for example. So we can help you also with your personal statement, if that's the case. Mock interviews. Let's say you've been called for an interview, but you never done an interview before, so you might feel a bit anxious or worried about what it's going to look like. So we can help you doing all these things in order to prepare you at best for your future opportunity coming. And then obviously we can also support you all along the process with the documents needed, and we do also a feedback review at some point during your work placement, just to make sure that you are happy with your learning, the employer is happy with your learning, and you're building up your learning, your skills and knowledge as well while you're doing the placement. Obviously, I just reference all these services about the placement because this is very relevant for the business school students. Nevertheless, these services listed here are really open to everyone who is looking to have some support with this sort of information which we just discussed. Alongside these, we do have 4 careers consultants. The careers consultants are the one who are actually working alongside with our colleagues from the department, so the academics leads like Tara or Wendy, for example. And they are delivering sessions, but also they meet the students on a one-to-one base, and they offer a bit of a more in-depth guidance. So, for example, let's say you are studying, and at some point at the end of your study, if you got several ideas about what would you like to do, but you're not really sure where to begin with. So again, in that case, your perfect opportunity will be to meet with a careers consultant for a 45 confidential appointment where you go through your options. As I said at the beginning, it's not pastoral work. It's nothing to do with that. It's more like them giving you the insights and the information you need to have in order to make a wise decision when it comes to your career's future, in that sense. And also they can talk about skills, about your qualities, about your values, how you present these to an employer, how you make the most of these things that you learned at university when you are in front of an employer during an interview, or for example, when you have to write these down in an application form. So these are the sort of things, the sort of service that the careers team offer, obviously, as I said, to all of our students. On top of that, as you might be aware of, here at the university, we are beneficiary of what is called the Turing scheme. So in previous year, there used to be the Erasmus, but now due to Brexit, the Erasmus scheme has been closed, and we've been moving towards the Turing scheme. Turing scheme is nothing than a government grant, really, that give every student at the University of Chichester, whether they are home students, so UK nationals or internationals, the opportunity to travel abroad from a minimum of 28 days up to 12 months. And you will be able to study abroad for a semester, for example, or you would be able to work abroad for a work placement or for a summer experience. The tourist scheme will enable you to have a pot of money that you can spend towards your expenses while abroad, for example, your travel costs, or for example, your living living costs when there. It's not going to cover the entire of your time abroad. Nevertheless, it obviously is a good help. And on top of that, there is additional support available for students coming from disadvantaged background or SEND students as well. We've got actually, in order to discuss your options, we do have a dedicated colleague. Her name is Michelle Thompson, and she's studying work abroad administrator, and she can support you within the process. So she can talk, she actually, again, via the booking appointment system, you can just meet with her, having an understanding about where are our partners when it comes to businesses abroad or when it comes to partners as universities abroad. You can understand a bit more about the scheme, how does it work, what are the requirements that you need to have in order to apply, and then she can help you all the way out in order to make sure that you will have all the support needed from, the practical point of view of understanding which course would match your courses better, your current study better, up until how to fill in the application, where are the deadlines, and all this sort of information. It's a fantastic opportunity, to be honest with you, and we can't really recommend this enough. As I mentioned earlier on, we do have a series also of events which are part of our remit. We try to do different kind of events. Some of these are central, like we offer these events to all students from all departments, but some of these are more specific. Just to give you an example, as I was saying like a while ago, we've done a summer careers fair a couple of weeks ago. Back in March, for example, we did a speed networking event. So we invite employers and students to have really 2 minutes speech in order to the student to introduce themselves to the employers, and the employers to inform the students about their opportunities available. But also, for example, let's say specifically for the business school, we did a mini work placement fair last semester one this academic year, with employers coming in with work placement offers in hand for all of our students attending. So again, we offer kind of a different range of opportunities, and we're always interested to hear more from students and understand if they are really if they really want us to put a specific type of event in place. And we're always keen to receive this feedback and hopefully facilitate these events moving forward. As I said, I just gave you a bit of an overview, a bit of a broad overview about what we do and what is our services like. If you want to find out more, good options would be follow us on Instagram and our social media. We have an Instagram page which is called Chai Uni Careers. You can easily find this on Instagram, or you can just scan the QR code. We do have a TikTok, a YouTube page, and a LinkedIn. And lately, we just started our first podcast about careers, which is called The Next Rung, and you can find it on Spotify. So if you want to find out more, follow us on this social media, and also listen to the podcast because it's very, very insightful. As a service, we are based in both campuses. We are in Bognor Regis campus in room 5. We are there every day, Monday till Friday, 9 till 4. And then with the service in Bognor, as I said, our presence in Bognor is mostly like during the semester time. And then over the summer, our main hub is our career center, which is based at Chichester campus. Nevertheless, we operate all year round. So basically, if you don't find us in person in one or the other campus, you just need to access to the Chai Careers, the software that I just mentioned earlier on, and log in and request an appointment or email us. Here are our details. But as I said, probably the easiest thing is just email us and find out more. And we're looking forward to meeting you in person. If you've got any more questions, I will be more than happy to answer later at the end of the presentation. And that's it from me. Thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you, Federica. And I just want to welcome some of you that joined us a little late. I think Astrid, I saw when you came in, Daya, welcome, Ellie, and Harry. So thank you very much for joining us. And don't worry if you missed anything, because this session is being recorded, and we will send you the YouTube link sometime tomorrow so you can listen to it again. So thank you, Federica. And now it's on to Helen. So Helen, the screen is yours.
Okay, thank you very much. I haven't actually got a flashy presentation, I'm afraid, because I have been working on an assignment, which is due in for Wendy on Wednesday. So I've got to keep going with that. But I'm actually here to talk to you a little bit about my experience of the last 3 years at the University of Chichester. So before I started my degree in event management, I'd had quite a lot of experience planning and delivering events, but I didn't really have experience of the academic side of event management or actually the legal implications of delivering events. I also didn't realise that I would learn so much more to do with business on my degree. So over the last 3 years, I've learned about marketing, branding, sustainability, entrepreneurship, loads of other stuff, a real wide variety of subjects, which was something that I wasn't quite prepared for, but something which I've really enjoyed over the last 3 years. All those subjects come with a variety of assignments. Again, before I joined the university, I actually thought that I would be writing essays every other week. I've written one essay in the last 3 years. That's not to say that I haven't done a lot of other assignments, but they've been more to do with writing maybe business plans, writing operations manuals, giving presentations, so writing scripts and designing, creating slides, and then obviously giving the presentation either in front of your lecturer or in front of the rest of your class. So there's a really wide variety of assignments. So lots of opportunities for you to be creative. My daughter is actually studying at another university and she's doing linguistics. And she looked at some of my assignments and she couldn't believe the variety that I was able to do and how creative and, just how exciting the assignments looked in comparison to some other subjects. So there are basically 2 semesters during a university year, and we study 4 modules per semester. Wendy, Tara, if I get any of this wrong, please correct me. So each module has a different set of assignments, and many have more than one assignment attached to the module. Which will make up a certain percentage. So you may have 2 assignments connected to a module. One may be worth 60% and one may be worth 40%, giving you an overall score. There's plenty of work to do for each module. You get lecture time, which in the business school, each lecture lasts up to 3 hours, including break time. Again, some other universities will structure their courses so that they include separate tutorial times, separate seminar times, and separate lecture times. But the business school like to put everything all in one place, so you really get a good chance to get in-depth knowledge of a subject. I think it may sound a bit daunting, the thought of sitting in a 3-hour lecture, but actually the time goes really quickly, and I think you learn so much more by being able to concentrate on that subject for that amount of time. I'd like to talk a little bit about paid work whilst you're at university. A lot of students do find that they have to take on some kind of paid work, part-time work, whilst they're at university to help with their fees and the cost of living. I personally, I'm lucky enough to do paid work that I can do from home. A lot of my student colleagues have work that they obviously maybe work in a supermarket. They have different shifts. I would strongly recommend that you don't burden yourself with too much paid work whilst you're studying at university. Certainly during the third year, a few of my colleagues have found themselves almost in full-time work. And that really does affect the quality of their work for assignments and how many lectures they can actually attend. So that really is a recommendation. Just having a look through my notes. You will have plenty of chance to work with other people, working in teams for various different assignments. People have varying opinions about working in teams, but it certainly does teach you some skills which will not only help you in university, but will help you in life as well, how to get on with different people, how to arrange a workload between people. You have to arrange meetings between each other so that you can deliver assignments together. So that's something to think about. The logistics of the business courses. The business school is located, is based at the Chichester campus of the university. There is a campus also at Bognor Regis. If you decide to join us and you join us on a business degree, then all your lectures will be at the Chichester campus. So if and when you apply for your accommodation, if you decide to live on campus during your first year, for example, I would strongly recommend that you live or apply for accommodation at the Chichester campus. There is a free inter-campus bus service for students. So if you were allocated accommodation on the Bognor Regis campus, it's not a total disaster, but you will find that you may be hanging around at the bus stop waiting for buses. Your bus might arrive half an hour before a lecture starts. So if you can, try and get accommodation on the Chichester campus. Oh yes, your first year of your degree does not actually count towards your final degree in terms of marks, for instance. But it's a really good foundation year where you learn lots and lots of different skills, which will help you in your second and third year of studying. The last thing that I've got written down is referencing. If you haven't heard of referencing, if I can see Lucy's smiling a little bit there. If you've never referenced in your life, then now's the time to Google referencing and to get a really good book on referencing. A really good book is called Cite It Right. And you really do need to try and learn how to reference, because you will be referencing on every assignment that you undertake whilst you're at university. And those are the main things that I've got written down. Wendy, if there's anything else you'd like me to cover, then let me
No,
know.
I think that was very helpful, Helen. Although, as you were going through, I made a list of
Mhm,
some of the types of assessments
mhm,
that we do, and those can include an operations plan for an event, business pitches, like pitching for finance for a startup, reflections where you do something, maybe you go on placement and then you reflect on your learning and you write a report on what happened and what you learned. A social media feed is also a type of assessment that we have. PR strategies, social media tools set up to match the strategy. We have to actually set up the tool and start posting. Content creation, risk assessments, presentations, and field reports. And that those are not all, but those are just examples of the type of assessments. And the good thing about this is that you will find that you'll find something new to learn, and you'll discover something about yourself that you didn't know, and you can explore a little bit. Like some people leave the university being really good at risk assessments, and they become health and safety managers in businesses. So you'll find something that you really, really like. So I just want to thank all of the presenters. And now we'll welcome questions from our visitors. And what you can do, you can take yourself off mute and ask a question. Hi, Tara.
Hi, Lucy's here as well.
Pardon?
Lucy's here as well.
Yes, Lucy's going to be talking rather than
Oh,
presenting. Right, Lucy?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yes, Lucy's here.
I didn't want
And
to
what
forget
Lucy's
you,
gonna
Lucy.
is going to do is to answer questions on behalf of other
Okay.
students. So what you can do, you could put your question in the chat if you prefer. I could read it out, and you could say who you're asking the question to, whether it's to Helen or to Lucy or to Federica or Tara. Tara is the person who runs the business degree at Chichester, so you may have some questions for her as well. So do put your questions in the chat. So while we're waiting for the questions to come through, Lucy, do you want to add anything to what Helen said? Do you have any comments you would like to make?
So in the first year, I was on campus in accommodation. So I experienced being with everyone else, and it's one where you will have to learn to get on with others, especially if you are in a particular way about cleaning or doing things a certain way. You just have to learn to get on with the people that you're staying with, because you will have, depending on which type you go for, if you go for self-catered, you'll get a bigger kitchen, whereas it's catered, you will have quite a small kitchen to share with a few other people as well. So yeah, it just depends on whether or not you'll be able to kind of get on well with others doing that, but it's definitely experience.
Mm-hmm. Yes, thank you for that. That's very useful information. And you mentioned before about part-time jobs. And one of the good things about Chichester is that there are lots of part-time jobs available in that area. So if you're living in Chichester, it makes the logistics a lot easier, because some students find it easier to work downtown Chichester, and then they just walk back to the campus, or it's easy or quick to get to work after class. So that's one of the good things about staying in Chichester. And the part-time jobs are very varied as well. We have lots of our event students who work in the various barns. There are lots of barn weddings, so many of them go to work in the wedding sector because there's just a lot of venues in Chichester. There are lots of stores as well. So you could work in retail, you could work in supermarkets, you could work in jewelry retail as well. There are lots of pubs and restaurants. And there are lots of companies, just companies in general. Somebody got a job at a drone company planning events, at the company that makes the drones. So there's lots of variety there. Another thing about part-time jobs, like Helen said, people find themselves in full-time work, because those part-time jobs very often become full-time, which is a good thing, but not if it affects your studies. So that's just one thing to be mindful about, that you want to still get a good degree. And most employers, if you tell them that you're about to finish your degree, they will hold that job for you. If you've been working with them for a long time and they know your work ethic, they will hold that job for you and give you the time to finish your degree. There's lots of ties as well with employers like Goodwood. So Goodwood, they provide a lots of part-time jobs, placements, there's lots of placement opportunities, and Federica mentioned the placements abroad, which is very exciting, and really good funding as well, because we didn't have that a few years ago. So there's a lot of opportunities, you know, at the University of Chichester and in the surrounding area.
We're also just up the road in Bognor from Butlins, which I think if anybody ever needed a job, they'd always get a job at Butlins. So that's something to consider as well.
Yeah, because they're right next door, actually. So you just cross the street, and the bus service is pretty good. I take it because it's more convenient than waiting for the normal passenger buses, and the bus service is free for students. So you've got like two different routes. You've got a direct route, the U8, and then you've got the U7, which stops at various places on the way between the two campuses. So there's good bus service as well between the two. Yes. So we're just waiting for questions to come into the chat. I don't see any yet. I don't know if Tara, you want to make
Yeah,
any comments?
You can put, there's a little symbol at the top as well if you wanted to raise your hands and speak. If you did have a question, you can do that. But I think it's really useful to know a little bit about what it's like here in terms of part-time work, because you've probably not had the opportunity to get much work experience due to the COVID lockdown. So we do work really quite well with careers in terms of providing lots of opportunities for you. So that involves working with clients, it involves looking at voluntary jobs, but placements are a really important part of your development. And we actually start getting you ready for your placement in the second year. So we offer a 1-year placement where you can go out in industry, whether that's in the UK or even overseas, where you can work for business, or you can go and study abroad for a year or study abroad for a semester. And that's really exciting part of our offering. But also in the final year, we offer you a placement opportunity. We call it professional practice, and it's something that we've introduced this year, and it's an opportunity for you to either work in industry in your final year for 2 to 3 days a week, or work as a consultant, so you're working remotely on a particular project for a business, or you're organising an event, or you're having a go at setting up your own business as an entrepreneur. So these are really good, exciting opportunities, and we do know that coming to university is all about exploring life and finding out what you're curious about. But ultimately, you want to get a good job at the end of it, and we aim to develop those competencies in order to improve your chances of getting a graduate level job when you leave. So we do work closely with careers, and I think being a small university, we've got a really good opportunity to actually offer you something that is a bit more bespoke to you and what you want to do in the future.
Thank you, Tara. We have our first question coming through, and this is from Danielle. And Danielle asks, what kind of jobs are available at Goodwood? Would we interact with the cars much? So I don't know who wants to take that one.
Do you want me to answer?
Yeah, I could answer the one about the cars.
Yeah.
You can answer the first part.
Well, Daniel, good question. And the reason why I'm saying it's a good question is simply because lots of the time people do associate one business with one very specific thing, as in this case, we're talking about the Speeds Festival. The answer is yes and no. We're working very, very closely with Goodwood. They offer a wide range of opportunities. For example, this year we had a student working in HR, another one working in their well-being department, and another one working in events. So they do have really lots of different opportunities. If there's something that you are particularly interested in, working with cars, let's say, there might be chances to volunteer or to work, for example, like casual hours for their event. Alternatively, another very good place where we're working in partnership with, and you will have loads to deal with cars, is Rolls-Royce. Again, they do not offer just an only placement in their workshops dealing, with cars in that sense, but also they do offer work placement within marketing, social media, HR as well. So you see, there are lots of opportunities available. And when Tara said that we can offer a possibility, a bespoke service is actually a core part of our job. Because we are a small uni, we've got a very good interaction with students like yourself. And Lucy can tell you a bit more because Lucy, don't want to put you on the spot here, but she's gonna do a fantastic work placement abroad, hopefully. And but that, I mean, we know our students, and we are dealing with them on a day-to-day basis. So if you are into cars and it is an industry that you want to explore, the only thing that you need to do is come to us. Let's have a chat about what you would like to do, and then we will be more than happy to try to facilitate as many conversations as possible with businesses in the surrounding areas in order to be able to offer what you're up for. Does that answer, Daniel? You can just answer in the chat box.
Thank you, Federica. Also, can I just add to that, that we've got quite a lot of alumni at Goodwood, and one of them is in Goodwood Motorsport. And she's actually coming in Employability Week next in June to give us a little challenge to the students. And actually, if you join us, you'll be working on a Goodwood Motorsport challenge in your second semester with me and with Goodwood Motorsports. Also, we had the CEO of Goodwood in a couple of weeks ago, which was really exciting. And he came in to talk to the first years. And hopefully, if you join us, you'll get to meet him next year as well.
Yes, and interacting with the cars, you probably won't want to. I mean, it's a dangerous motorsport, but a lot of our students do get casual work at the members meeting and the other motor sport events that they have. There's also Glorious Goodwood? There's also another event that they have when they put all the cars on display, where it's like an exhibition. I can't remember the name of it.
The Revival.
The Revival, yeah. So maybe you might want to work at that. They offer casual work experience. It's paid work, and you can touch the cars. I've touched them, and that could be exciting as well. So they usually come in regularly to meet with our students. So once you join us, you just tell them what you would like to do, and and they'll see how they could facilitate that. Thank you. So, any other questions? I don't see anything else in the chat. So, while we wait for other questions, does anyone have anything that they would like to add to the discussion? Yes, Tara.
Can I just say that actually we've changed quite recently over the last year the way that we deliver our teaching to have a bit more variety rather than just a 3-hour session. So what we offer now is a 1-hour lecture where we give some information that might be where you'll be with everybody. So you might be with between 60 and 100 other people for 1 hour, and then you'll have a 2-hour seminar in smaller groups where we actually work on being quite interactive and discussing that topic in more depth, and you working on specific tasks that relate to that lecture. So it's very interactive, and most of your sessions also contribute towards you building up the knowledge for you to do your assignment work. So you can quite easily see how you're developing your knowledge week by week with added independent study as well. So it's quite nice to see that in your first year and get into a routine.
I just want to add that we have a module called Professional Graduate, and the Professional Graduate module teaches you how to find a job and how to compete for jobs. And one of the assessments is actually CV writing on that particular course. So you get to learn how to write a CV that really highlights your skills and stresses that you have the skills and the knowledge for that specific job. So that's also another great thing that we do in the business school to get you ready and confident. And that also comes with mock interviews as well. So that by the time you go for that placement or for that job, you're already confident because you would have experienced the interviews, you would have learned how to write CVs, and you'll be able to go forward with real confidence and know that you can get that job that you desire. Yes, okay. Right, so I don't see any questions in the chat. So I think what we could do is just go around, then the panel, and just make maybe some final statements, and hopefully we get some more questions, but some more statements, some final statements, and then if there are no more questions, we can close the webinar. So Federica, do you have anything you would like to add in summary?
Well, really, I just want to say that as a careers and employability team, we are really keen and eager to support all of our students as best as possible. So, as I said, our service is always open, even during the summer. We're very happy to welcome you at any stage during your studies at the university. And again, we're more than happy to facilitate any conversation with employers or support you finding the right opportunities. So, well, thank you very much for listening to this presentation today. And if you've got any more question, I'm sure that you, Wendy, possibly we can receive these, and we're more than happy to talk to you any further. Thank you very much for listening today and for having me on the panel.
Thank you. Lucy, anything else you would like to add?
Yes, so what Federica was saying earlier, and Tara, is that basically I've been working very closely with the careers team because they've been guiding me through the process of trying to organise a 2-month summer internship abroad. So correct me if I'm wrong, Federica, but it's you have to do the groundwork first yourself and actually try and research the companies that you want to go to or who you want to go through, and then they will be able to guide you and point in the right direction as to whether or not it would be feasible to actually do it. So yes, definitely always strike a conversation up with the careers team because they'll be able to help you if you want to do anything abroad.
Do you want to tell us where you're going?
I'm going over to South Korea.
Wow, that's amazing. That's really amazing. Congratulations for that. Tara,
I'm
any
jealous.
final comments?
Yes, thank you, Wendy and Federica, Lucy and Helen, for organising and participating in today. I think it's really useful for applicants to get to know us and have the opportunity to listen in and ask any questions they might have. Hopefully you've got a sense that we are a small, interactive, supportive university with a focus on you. So we don't necessarily know your student number, but we will certainly know your name. And we hope to we look forward to possibly seeing you in September at our induction week. And do drop me an email if you'd like to discuss anything further or have a one-to-one with myself or your programme lead. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Tara. And Helen, any final comments?
Oh.
Yeah, well, really just wanted to reiterate what Tara said. You really do get to know all the lecturers associated with the business school, and they really do care about you as an individual. I also just wanted to say, if there are any of you who are mature students, as in over the age of, is it 23 counts as a mature student?
25?
25?
I think it's 21 now.
21
oh
now?
gosh!
Yeah.
Oh well, I only just slip into that mark then. So yeah, if you are a bit older than 18 to 21, then you would be counted as a mature student. There are quite a few mature students at the university, and obviously, you know, we all work with people of all ages, and as quite a mature student. I have to say that I've really enjoyed working with 18-year-olds, 22-year-olds, 28-year-olds throughout the last 3 years. And yeah, you get a good cross-section of different skills and experience from working with people of all ages.
That's right. Thank you,
So,
Helen, for that.
to the chat box. I just have a question. So for the study hours, would that be like 3 hours in one day? Or is it like going to be alternative, changing?
Well, the study week is Monday to Friday. Some students only need to come to uni maybe 3 days because of how their timetable is. So what would happen is that you've got 1 hour lead-in lecture, and then sometime during that week you'll have 2 hours, which would be the seminar for that particular lecture. So it's 3 hours per week per module. So it adds up to about 12 hours per week in a classroom. But those 12 hours could be spread over the whole week or over a few days. So it just depends on the timetable.
12 hours of study in the university.
Pardon?
It will be 12 hours of study in the university, I mean, per week.
Yes, you have your 12 hours contact time with the lectures, and then the rest of the time would be in what we call independent study. So that's when you will go off and work independently in the library, or you may have to meet up with a group on a project, or you may have to meet up with a client to talk about a consultancy. So what you do outside the classroom would be very varied depending on the modules that you're doing that particular semester.
Of course, you have to study outside the university. That's necessary, I guess.
Yep.
Yeah. A lot of students will study at home. Yeah.
Oh, thank you. And I got the answer for my question. And thank you for the useful information. I did get some. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank you for
you.
asking. Yes. And if there are no more questions, I guess this is where we will wrap up for the day. But you know where to find us. And this webinar is being recorded, and you will get an email with the link so that you can listen to it again. And if you feel that you have additional questions, please feel free to email any one of us. We'd be happy to hear from you. And I would just like to thank Federica and Lucy and Tara and Helen for joining us today. And I also like to thank our visitors for joining. And we look forward to seeing you in September. And I just want to say to everyone, have a lovely evening. The sun is still shining. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Bye.
everyone. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye.